My name is Chris Perquis. I'm a sports psychologist from Belgium. The topic of our masterclass is building psychological resilience. The definition of psychological resilience is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or other significant sources of stress. So in other words, it's about your capacity to bounce back, to overcome obstacles and stressful situations. Now in sports, you are always in a situation where you want to control a lot of variables that are very hard to control, and this causes stress. As a coach, you want to control the behavior of your athletes, you want to influence the game, control the game, you want to control your opponent. So a lot of situations that are very hard to control. So building your psychological resilience is very important as a coach. It is one of the main qualities for a successful coach. So in other words, we want to help you as a sports coach to build your resilience, to improve your results as a coach, to become better in the relationship with your players, to give you a better insight in your own power, in your own resilience as a coach. And we will do that with a combination of theory and practice. So we'll give you a number of tools, techniques that you can use with your players and that you can use for yourself to look at your own skills as a coach and to improve your own performance. So very practical. That means that the tutorials will be very short, but on top of the tutorials, there will be some actions that we require from you as a coach. So in each module, we will present a new topic and give you a challenge, give you the opportunity to practice with the tools that we present. Each time we will start with a short piece of theory, some research findings, some results from our practice here in Belgium, and then we will present an exercise that you can then use with your athletes, with your team, with your players. So to really give you a feel of what the concept is all about. We will also share an example, a best practice from our coaching practice here in Belgium. One of our athletes, one of our teams who has benefited from this specific tool. And then we will present you with a challenge. A challenge which is basically an application of the learnings from the module. So we will give you an assignment to complete for yourself as a coach, something to try out, something to do differently, or something to try out with one of your players. And the final part of each module consists of a self-assessment. We will ask you to rate yourself, to give yourself a score on this specific item. This is our model for building psychological resilience. STRONG, an acronym that helps you remember the 6 steps of the model. S stands for search for meaning. T, take care of the basics. R, recharge your batteries. O, overcome your fears. N, nurture your support network. And G, go for growth. The program is a 6 weeks journey. 6 weeks is typically the time needed to really master a new skill, to practice with new behavior and develop a new habit. Just like with any technical skill that you want your players to acquire and to master, this is the same with building psychological resilience. Changing your behavior requires motivation and discipline. So it will take you 6 weeks to complete the course, but the actual time investment of watching the tutorials and completing the different challenges that will come to 7 hours. So, ready to start this exciting journey together? Here is Module 1. Step 1. Search for meaning. In any difficult situation, be it a very short period of difficulty or a longer period of crisis, it is only natural that we focus first on the negative. We have concerns, we are afraid, there are a lot of negative emotions that we are experiencing, and it seems difficult to turn around and focus on something else. But it is necessary to take a pause, to reflect, to see what this crisis can signify. What does it really mean to us? It is useful to reflect and take a moment to think about what's really important. Find your purpose. Try and reflect on the real meaning. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be in life? What is your purpose? As a professional coach, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Here is an exercise for you. Look at the list of the values above and select 3 values that are really important to you as a coach. Is it control? Do you want to have control over every situation in football? Is it honesty? Do you always want to tell the truth to your players? Or is it self-development? Will you look for opportunities, teams and clubs where you can learn the most? Because this is important for you as a coach. So use this period of difficulty, this moment of crisis, to identify your core values as a coach. Another exercise that you can do is designing a personal club logo. If you were a club, a football club, a basketball club, a volleyball club, what would your logo look like? What would be the colors? What do the colors tell about you? What would be the images, the symbols on your coat of arms, your shield, the logo that is a reflection of who you are as a person? Here in this example of Barcelona, we see different elements that represent the club. We see a very old symbol of a football, which means that the club has a rich heritage and tradition. We see the tagline, Més que un club. It's more than a football club. They want to contribute to society. You also see flag of Catalonia. So they want to make a political statement, if you like. So take some time and use your creativity to design your personal club logo. Here is an example from my experience here in Belgium. We worked with values when we were recruiting a new head coach for the national handball team. And for the Red Wolves, one of the key values was that we focus on youth, we focus on development. So we wanted a head coach who would not only focus on the results, but who would also pay attention to the integration of young players into the national team. So at the end of the day, we profiled different candidates and we hired the best candidate for the job. The final aspect in our search for meaning is to challenge yourself and look for opportunities. Look for the positives. Find also the positive aspects in a challenging situation. Remember the saying, every cloud has a silver lining. So let's make a short assessment. If you look at your own situation today, how satisfied are you with your clarity with regards to your personal purpose? Using a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not very satisfied at all, I don't have a clear purpose, I have never thought about my personal values, 2, maximum score of 10, I have a very clear purpose, I know what I stand for, I have a couple of values that guide my behavior each and every time. Scale from 1 to 10, where are you today? So this was the first chapter in our program. Step 1, search for meaning. And we're going to leave you with a short challenge. We would like you to take the work that you did, reflecting on your personal values, your purpose, and to present this to 3 people in your environment. 3 people that you trust, 3 people where you say, I really value your feedback. So explain to them why these values are important to you and ask them how they have already seen these values in your behavior as a coach or in a different situation. Write down what they tell you and make a summary. With this homework, we wrap up the first chapter in our journey together. Thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to work with you for the next few weeks.